There comes a point, usually on bitter, frosty mornings like these, that even the most dedicated of fans will have to admit that if you live in Britain, in Ireland, or anywhere with a similar climate, a convertible probably isn't the wisest thing you can spend your money on. But all that said and done, we just can't get enough of them. This part of the world is one of the biggest markets for soft tops anywhere on Earth. Maybe there's a slight forbidden fruit element, or maybe we're all just a bit mad. But if you've decided that a drop top is the car for you, then how do you know which one to go for? Some like theirs big and luxurious, others small and sporty, but the Audi A3 Cabriolet, which was recently facelifted earlier this year along with the rest of the A3 range, aims to do a bit of both. One of the biggest criticisms that some people have about Audis these days is that they can just look a little bit samey, both outside and inside, but at the risk of sounding like a broken record, the interior of this car is as smart, as functional and as high quality as you'd expect, so at least you kind of know what you're going to get. The A3 does share much of its underpinnings with the Volkswagen Golf, but the materials are of a higher quality, the trimming is just that bit more plush, and with these handsome diamond pattern leather seats, it's comfortable as well. All models come with this pop-up 5.8-inch infotainment display screen with an MMI controller that cuts down on buttons and which is a lot easier to use when you're on the move than a traditional touchscreen. Standard equipment includes things like this leather-trimmed steering wheel, DAB radio and air conditioning, while the S-Line gets extra things like xenon headlights and a subtle body kit. There are also plenty of options available, but be careful what you choose because our car has nearly £7,000 worth of extras for things like heated seats and Audi's virtual cockpit display. Of course, key to this model is the folding fabric roof, which is electrically operated and which can be used at speeds of up to 31 miles per hour. It does take its time though, so keep an eye on the weather forecast, just in case you get caught out. The price of having a convertible usually comes at the expense of rear seat practicality, and it's no different with the A3 Cabriolet with these small and cramped rear seats that are really only suitable for children. If you want a sleek and sporty convertible and you're not too bothered about back seats, then you might almost be better off with a TT. But you might say, surely the A3 is going to have a much more practical boot than the TT. Well, wrong actually. With the rear seats folded, the TT has 712 litres of space, while this little trunk-shaped boot here only has 320 at a maximum. With the fabric soft top folded down, that tumbles to 275. Although convertibles typically aren't as good on the road as their hardtop counterparts due to the extra structural rigidity that a solid roof offers, Audi has always been rather good at making sure that its soft tops drive well. Our test car comes with the firmest S-Line suspension, although you can specify a softer setup if you want it, and the car is tight and controlled, resisting body lean well with precise steering. Quattro four-wheel drive is an option, but even with just front-wheel drive, it's got more than enough grip for most people, and you really do have to stand on it quite hard before it starts to understeer. The trade-off is, of course, that with massive 19-inch wheels and a stiff suspension, it does get a little bit jittery and crashy over uneven surfaces, while there's also quite a bit of tyre roar. That said, it's never unbearable, and the triple-ply, acoustically insulated roof goes a long way to improving refinement. There are several different engines available in the A3 range, including 1.4 litre petrols, 1.6 litre diesels and larger 2 litre petrols, although it's a 2 litre diesel that we have with 148 brake horsepower. Power delivery is smooth and it's got a decent turn of pace without being too fast. 0 to 62 miles per hour takes 8.9 seconds and top speed is 139 miles per hour. Now it's actually a 6-speed manual that we've got in this car. I know that most people who buy the A3 will probably want the automatic, but I do actually quite like this gearbox as it's snappy and well weighted. There are better driving cars out there, the TT among them, and I think that the 2 Series convertible might just nudge it in terms of fun factor given that it's rear-wheel drive. But you could still do a lot worse, and the A3 Cabriolet is still a great car to drive and feels suitably sporty. Prices for the A3 Cabriolet start at £26,875, which makes it around £7,500 more expensive than the regular A3 and about £1,000 more than the BMW 2 Series convertible. The S-Line trim starts from £31,340, while fully loaded up with options, our test car is nearly £42,000. Running costs are reasonably decent as well. Audi claims that this engine can return up to 67.3 miles per gallon with 110 grams per kilometre of CO2. In fairness, we haven't quite matched that, but with a mix of country and motorway roads, we have been able to get up in the 50s. Stylish, smart and well equipped, the A3 Cabriolet is also a hoot to drive and, with this diesel engine, at least decently efficient as well. It probably won't appeal to anybody who wants a hardcore sports car, nor will it appeal to anybody big on practicality, but in terms of its segment at least, it has many rivals beaten on badge appeal, and as an all-rounder it can't be faulted. As long as you've got the weather for it at least. But what do you think? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click on the Inquire button to find out more details about this car, or for any other models visit carkeys.co.uk. And to watch more reviews, click on one of the links on screen now.